is going on, everyone? Chris, where do we start with this victory for the New York Football Giants? A 24-22 victory over the Green Bay Packers. This is a team, Chris, that's very desperate. They held the seventh wild card spot heading into this game. Giants coming off of a bye week. Had a 2-game winning streak, now a 3-game winning streak. And what a fluky, I don't want to say fluky because that takes away from the Giants, but a strange game. But I gotta say this, buddy. Tommy Cutlets, Tommy Buns, Tommy DeVito leading a come from behind drive to secure a victory for the New York Football Giants. Man, New Jersey, we're just doing this all day. How you doing, Chris?
I'm doing pretty well, although you're kind of making me flash back to some unpleasant memories from college when about half the SUNY Albany campus was from the Jersey Shore, and
Oh,
th- I gotta say, early 2000s, there was kind of a constant cloud of acts in the air, but man, you were right. This was one hell of a game. It I can't say it was a good game. It was a fun game at times, a very confusing game at other times, and like you said, there were a lot of weird plays, weird calls by the officials, and yeah, but I do think we do have to just stop and recognize what Tommy DeVito did on that final drive. 4 for 4, was it 58 yards, and set the Giants up for a game-winning field goal after the Packers made one of those a mystifying call for a wide receiver run that the Giants had stopped 3 times in a row right before that. It, this was a wild game.
it was a wild game, but I think you put it well. It wasn't necessarily a good game. I think each team had a specific game plan, as every team does. But the Giants, they didn't throw a ball past the line of scrimmage until what, the second quarter. The Packers, they were doing just jet sweep, end around. That was the predominant choice. I don't feel like they trusted maybe Jordan Love against Wink Martindale, who was bringing the pressure against Jordan Love, and they brought it up during the game. It's like, this is a lot different than Aaron Rodgers. And Wink Martindale did not feel comfortable blitzing Aaron Rodgers last year when they played, still got the victory. Blitzed Jordan Love a decent amount in this game, got the victory. But the Giants are out here with a UDFA at quarterback. And he wasn't slinging it around the yard, but what did he show? He showed toughness. He ran the football. He was taking hits, similar to what we've seen from Daniel Jones in the past. And then when the Giants needed him most, he stepped up. And thank God for that, dude, because Saquon Barkley, that fumble, that would have been peak. And I tweeted this, peak 2023 New York Giants. You just kind of get tripped up, but you reestablish yourself, and then you fall down. No one touches you, and the ball just pops out, giving the football back to the Green Bay Packers. If that's the way the game would have ended, we would have all just been like, dude, the Giants just can't win. Like, what is going on here? Like, that is so New York Giants in 2023. But Tommy Cutlets did not allow that to happen. Neither did Wan'Dale Robinson, who we really need to talk about, Chris, because he looked far better than I think we've seen, maybe since the game he got injured in Detroit, where he had over 100 yards. That Wan'Dale Robinson tonight was so impressive.
He really was. He is not as he doesn't have the measurable athleticism that Kadarius Toney has, but he is a much better athlete, I think, than Kadarius Toney is. And he is what everyone hoped Tony would turn into. Just his sense for where he is on the football field. No references there. Wandale's
Well, he at least knows the playbook too.
Yeah, his route running, his body control, his ability to make plays, positive plays with the ball in his hands. Tony would do the thing where he would run around, 50 yards behind the line of scrimmage and pick up 2 positive yards. That is, Wandale, he's quick, he is athletic, he is shifty, but all of his moves are with a purpose, and he either gets upfield, gets out of bounds, creates separation for himself. He kind of reminds me of Sterling Shepard back before the injuries set in with Sterling Shepard. And I don't want to say the sky's the limit for Wan'Dale, because I'm not fond of that phrasing, but his ceiling is super high. He can keep developing, and he could be a foundational piece for this offense going forward.
He's got that Willie Nelson ceiling, you know what I'm saying? But I but I love what he was able to do, man. 6 catches for 79 yards. He had the 2 carries for 36 yards, and the Giants were using him in a similar fashion, a lot of pre-snap movement to kind of just create eye candy for the Packers defense. And the one touchdown too to Isaiah Hodgins, they did that too as well. They motioned, it was a 3-by-1 set. They motioned Isaiah Hodgins outside of Hyatt, sent Hyatt to the inside, and now Hodgins had that entire piece of the field to operate against his one covering defender. When DeVito did not like the man beater to the left side, he decided to roll to the right. That was a very smart play by Tommy DeVito. And then he threw a strike the back of the end zone to Isaiah Hodgins. Look, Isaiah Hodgins might not be having the year that he had last year. That magic might not be there. But in the red zone, he's still the best New York Giants wide receiver, probably the most reliable target. He has 3 touchdowns this year, and they were all from the red zone. It's because he knows how to get open, knows how to get his feet down, and is really good at concentrating and securing those passes. Great play by DeVito and Hodgins.
Yeah, that is what Hodgins is best at, just using his route running, using his size, using his length, using his hands and body control to win in the short area, red zone, when the game speeds up the most. Yeah, he isn't as athletic as Jalen Hyatt or really a lot of other receivers, but his ability to get open basically at will it allows him to play much faster than he times, and he is incredibly valuable for that. Yeah, and I think the fact that he isn't a big name, he isn't an uber athlete, he isn't going to be running a 4.240 or jumping out of the gym or anything like that. I think that has people kind of overlooking him and devaluing him. But you see what he is able to do when it matters the most, and that's incredibly important to have on the team. And yeah, I also want to take a second and just appreciate the Giants coaching staff, their offensive coaching staff. You know, what they have done with Tommy DeVito in developing him and putting him in position to use his tools to their utmost is very impressive. It really is reminiscent of what they did with Daniel Jones a year ago. And yeah, the Giants are not asking DeVito to do a whole hell of a lot. He's not changing protections. He's not doing 5-man reads and anything super complicated like that. It's basically one, maybe 2 men, and then just take off. That is his game, and the Giants are really playing to that, and it's effective. And I think part of the reason why it's effective is he is more willing to take shots down the field, so the defense has to respect it, even if they're still throwing behind the line of scrimmage a lot.
But we've also seen from DeVito, and this is the fascinating thing about him. Like, yeah, he's a rookie, UDFA, all that kind of stuff. He's gotten better in every single game. Now, you're right. They didn't reinvent the wheel here, but he was 17 of 21, really efficient, 158 yards with a come from behind victory and the touchdown pass to Isaiah Hodgins. Could have had a touchdown. One was tackled at like the 6-inch line, which set up one of Saquon Barkley's touchdown. But he is operating the rhythmic West Coast type of system when the Giants are having those plays implemented. And he's able to, and this is something that we saw dating back to the Las Vegas game. He's really good on that sail concept, man. That one play to Wan'Dale Robinson was a sail concept. It's a 3-level read with Saquon Barkley in the flat, Wan'Dale Robinson on the corner, and then someone on the clear out. I wasn't sure who was it, whether it was Slayton or Hyatt. And he hits Wan'Dale Robinson right when he needs to maximize the yak ability of Wan'Dale Robinson running up the sidelines.
I'm sorry, I just love that phrasing.
What, the yak ability?
Like,
yeah, man.
I say the Giants have maximized their yak ability throughout the season, and this is one of those times when it was a good way.
Yes, this is one of the only times that it was one of the good ways. I love that. But that has impressed me because one of the things I feel like we as Giant fans, and I'm not saying this about everybody, during the bye week, we were like, look, Tommy DeVito, it's a fun story. And it's still, it is a fun story, but it is going beyond that at this point because he did it against 2 bad defenses before this. Like, yeah, you carved up Washington's defense and then New England's defense when essentially their offense couldn't do anything. So their defense was just giving up. And as Jabril Pepper says, their ass. Well, he just did it against Green Bay. Green Bay has been cooking recently, beat good teams like the Detroit Lions and the Kansas City Chiefs. And now you just defeated them in prime time. That's big. That's big stuff right there from Tommy Day. And it wasn't like he was just a passenger in this, but we do got to talk about the defense as well, because they really showed up in this matchup too.
They really did. The Giants just keep taking the ball away. These things are supposed to come in bunches, and the bunches just keep coming. They had essentially 4 takeaways in this game. They had the Jordan Love fumble. You had the uh, interception on basically the next play on an incredibly ill-advised throw.
Yeah.
Then you had the muffed punt on, again, an incredibly ill-advised punt return attempt. And then you had the turnover on downs after the missed field goal. Yeah, all of that really did help the Giants offense as well. It put them in better positions. It, in some cases, blunted uh, Green Bay drives that could have resulted in points. And the fact that this game stayed close, that it was 21-16 at the end of the game. That also really helped out the Giants offense because they could stick to the plan. They didn't have to try to get aggressive and play from behind. They were able to hand the ball off to Saquon Barkley, even though he didn't get a whole lot done for much of the game. They were able to make use of those quick passes with Tommy DeVito. Yeah, he wasn't forced to sit back and hold the ball for half of forever, even though he did hold the ball for an average of 3 seconds today, which was that's still kind of a lot. And it's a minor miracle, I think, that he didn't get sacked this game because Green Bay was in the Giants' backfield quite a bit. But yeah, I mentioned this during the game. It was almost like the Giants' offensive line started run blocking as soon as Green Bay got pressure and just created a running lane for DeVito to scramble and escape.
I do feel like the Giants' offensive line recently has been doing a much better job at that, but also Tommy DeVito is surprisingly good at navigating the pocket for somebody
Yes.
who is a neophyte in terms of playing in the NFL right now, to pull out one of my Walt Clyde Frazier words. But the defense, man, look, the takeaways, like you brought up, Jason Pinnock. I just wish Jason Pinnock would wrap up, because that 35-yard AJ Dillon play should not have been a 35-yard AJ Dillon play, and that set up the first Green Bay touchdown. The rush by Jaden Reed, who's a really fun rookie to watch, mind you. But Kayvon Thibodeau, that's the name I want to go back to. Look, Dexter Lawrence played like a limited role here. There were plays where I saw Dexter Lawrence out there and he just ran over Myers and he was just all over the place. I'm like, dude, how do you block this guy? Like this guy is absolutely insane. He's playing hurt and he's still doing this. But Kayvon Thibodeau, he had the one mistake on the Reed touchdown rush. He probably should have cheated towards the motion man there and lost contain on that.
Yep.
I don't know his responsibility, but that's my guess. That's what Troy Aikman was saying as well. But what did he do? He knocked the pass down the line of scrimmage. He had a sack on Jordan Love when he attempted to evade the pocket. He had a couple really nice run stops. And you're just seeing these young defenders really start to come together now. I think Azeez Ojulari had a really good game. I'm excited to see the All-22 to see how he played, but he came up big in the second half. Deonte Banks made several big plays. So it was just one of those games where you're looking at the core nucleus of the young players the Giants have on the defensive side of the football, and you're like, they really needed this game to win, right? They needed the defense to step up, and they slowed down an offense that has been playing like a juggernaut. They made Jordan Love look really uncomfortable and pretty bad tonight.
Yeah, that was kind of one thing that stood out for me from the first quarter was just how off and uncomfortable Jordan Love looked. I mean, that the first 2 attempts to convert a third down on that first drive right at the end, he just pulled the ball on both times. Like, he had wide receivers wide open, and he just missed them. And he was off really
Yeah.
throughout the game. And there was a lot of times he didn't look sure of what he wanted to do. Like, even the fumble, he got tentative approaching the line of scrimmage. The first down was there on that run for him to pick up, and he just kind of slows up. Like, he wasn't sure if he wanted to try to make a defender miss, if he was going to try to lower his shoulder or what. So it was kudos to the defense there in really silencing what was a pretty good offense. Now, the fact that the Packers were missing Christian Watson, they were missing Aaron Jones, that helped, but can't really take anything away from the way the defense played.
No, and I'm not going to take anything away from the way the defense played. They stepped up when they had to, and they came up, man. But the special teams now, Randy Bullock made the field goal. He made the one that counted, right? The one that
Yeah.
really counted. But both of these teams, the Packers and the Giants, look, we've criticized and maligned the Giants special teams all season, rightfully so. They have not been impressive. I don't know if I've ever seen a game though where the opposing special teams unit was just as atrocious as the Giants special teams unit.
Yes.
Because the Packers, they took what, two dumb penalties. Anthony Johnson Jr. had, I think, a block in the back. You had the play with Gunnar Olszewski when he ran into Rudy Ford on the fair catch attempt. Those were two 15-yard penalties that went against Green Bay. Then Green Bay muffed the punt. Bobby McCain got hit by a punt. Had no idea it was coming down on. And it's just like one
Lawrence
of those. And then
Cager and getting hit by a kickoff and
yep, Lawrence Cager on the kick. Oh, that one was just atrocious. And then you had two missed field goals as well. So it's just like,
yes.
holy crap! The special teams units were just like, nah, you can have it. Now hold my beer. It was really bad to watch.
Yeah, there were points in this game where it looked like neither team actually wanted to win, and yeah, it was. This game was just. It was just weird. Like the Saquon Barkley fumble, like when we have never seen him do anything like that. Like I could see Daniel Jones doing that. We've seen Jones get bit by the turf monster before. Yeah,
Yeah.
but Saquon, that like I would not want to be him during film review tomorrow or Wednesday. You know, whenever they watch the tape from this game, he's going to have popcorn thrown at him or something.
It was a very uncharacteristic play for Saquon Barkley. I'm very happy for him that that's not going to lead to a loss, because that dude like embodies what it is to be a New York Giant, and he, in this lost season, he is being the leader the New York Giants absolutely need. And if they lost on a play like that, not even a play where someone wrestled the ball from you, which rarely happens to Saquon Barkley, it happened earlier in the season, but other than that, Barkley never fumbles. This one was just, I don't even know what. It just fell out of his hands and no one, it was just like a really weird happenstance. But Chris, do you have anything else before we get out of here?
No, I suppose should at least mention the draft. The Giants are currently sitting after another, I would say even more monumental upset of the Tennessee Titans over the Miami Dolphins in Miami. Yeah, the Giants are currently sitting at 8th overall in the draft. We don't know what the Giants' plans are. They might not know. But the thing I come back to is I'm expecting the Giants to win down in New Orleans. I think the Saints are stumbling badly, and the only reason they won was they were going against the Panthers this week. I'm expecting this winning streak to extend, and the Giants might just fall out of the top 10 altogether. And if they want a quarterback, if Joe Shane, Brian Daboll want to move on from Daniel Jones's contract, if they've got long-term concerns about his durability, all of that, they're either going to have to look at Bo Nix or Michael Penix, both of whom have some questions. Penix with his own injuries, Bo Nix with just a lot of his production has come close to the line of scrimmage. He doesn't look down the field all that often, and he was disappointing at Auburn. Or they're going to have to trade up. They're going to have to use one or both of those second round picks, future picks. So, that's kind of the downside to this winning. We can talk about building a winning culture. I'm honestly not sure how much that translates year to year, just because, we saw the Giants go 11-5, sweep the Cowboys in 2016, and then wind up with the second overall pick after 2017. So that we can enjoy wins, but there's going to be consequences long term.
Hey, the Giants aren't out of it though, right? Playoff push, baby. Nah, we'll see what happens. I wish they beat the Seattle Seahawks earlier in the year. Would have made that playoff push a little bit more realistic. But the Green Bay Packers are in their way as well. So if they could pull that off, it would be an absolute miracle. They would probably erect a statue of Tommy DeVito outside of some stadium or some deli somewhere, and it would be it would be a lot of fun. Chris, anything else, buddy?
Nah, man, it's getting late. It's Tuesday, so why don't we just wrap this up and let everybody get to bed?
Alrighty. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to the Chris and Nick show to review the New York Giants dub over the Green Bay Packers. Take care of each other, everyone. Head on over to bigblueview.com and check out all of our written content as well. Go New York Giants. Peace.